All right, here we go with the Chapter 4 case study. So this chapter case deals with Facebook and their technologies that they've been implementing dealing with public privacy, so all the private information that their users are sharing on that, and what Facebook is doing with that information and how that relates to their business model. So the first question asks, perform an ethical analysis of Facebook. What is the ethical dilemma presented by this case? So in short, the whole idea of Facebook is that it is entirely free for the user. You don't have to pay to sign up or pay a subscription or anything. And because of that, their money, the profit that they make, is generated through advertisements. And tied in with that, Facebook is this bank of personal information, really detailed stuff. Like it could even be like credit cards and really private information like that. And so what's been happening is Facebook is teaming up with ad companies, selling them that information so that the ad companies can target consumers and give them specific ads or link them to specific sites when they're on those websites. Those websites will have that information. And so the ethical dilemma here is how far can and will this information sharing go, or how far has it already gone? And the ethical lines for selling this private information of the users really needs to be established. So the next question is, what is the relationship of privacy to Facebook's business model? And basically, as I mentioned earlier, the main focus of their business model is to be open to anyone that wants to use it with that, and they don't have to pay for it. It's free to sign up no matter where you are or where you're accessing it from or how long you've had your account, etc. And when personal information gets tied in with this business model, all the user's privacy is put at jeopardy. And that's basically the relationship, is that you have, yes, they have this business model of being a free, open company, but your information is being exploited. And a lot of a lot of users of this site are giving up their privacy, which is in turn funding Facebook's business. And the consumers don't even realize that they're giving up that information because it's so shrouded to them. This has kind of been a problem in other companies too, such as Google or even devices like the Amazon Alexa device can actually hear you talk about different things, hear your preferences for products and companies, and then in turn they can send you targeted advertisements for those companies, which again goes into this dilemma of private information being tied in with a business model. The next question says, describe the weaknesses of Facebook's privacy policies and features. What people, organizations, and technology factors have contributed to those weaknesses? So I think that the biggest weakness here is that while the information may be private to your friends on Facebook to an extent, it is not private to Facebook itself, obviously. And because of that, they are selling your private information, and companies and entities have that to use against you in a sense. They're going to use that information to get a better understanding of how you act as a consumer and target specific things to you in order to see results. Some of the entities that they mentioned in the chapter case were credit card companies. Employers can use this information to form an opinion about your personality or your history. Any site, any website that you visit that is supported with Facebook, while you also have Facebook open in another tab, will have access in some way to that personal information that Facebook is putting out there, that they're not conveying that they're putting out there. The next question is, will Facebook be able to have a successful business model without invading privacy? And could Facebook take any measures to make this possible? So my short answer here is no, I don't think they can. I think that they've been on this road of sharing information for a long time, and now the public is finally starting to realize that. And I think to an extent, some of the actions they've taken are irredeemable because of that. And also you have to consider that the model that they uphold of being entirely free really infringes on their ability to work with advertisers and work with how they make a profit. My long answer is that, yeah, they need really heavy reconstruction as a business in order to function profit-wise without selling this commodity that they've been selling for a long time now. They need an entirely new model that doesn't include users' information, which is a huge part of their revenue. Ethically or not, that's how they've been earning a lot of their money, is by selling that to different companies. And I really think what's essential is that they have to readdress all of these issues and come up with ground rules, ground ethics as a company, the code of the company that they have to follow in order to be successful in changing anything. So the first discussion question that I came up with is, could the publicizing of our private information be something that will become a social norm in the future? And I think that this is going to happen. I think that while what Facebook is doing is ethically wrong, undisputably, in a lot of ways, a lot of people don't even realize what Facebook is doing. And I think that a large population of us on Facebook, if they did understand that, they may not even care about it. I think that the general population of Facebook users has so many benefits that they see with using Facebook, let that be connecting to friends or finding new groups to join, et cetera, et cetera. I think that they have so many benefits using the program that it would outweigh their ethical issues with monetizing their personal information. And I basically think this is going to go one of two ways moving forward in technology and social media society. I think we're either going to see this personal information sharing become completely outlawed and banned, and there's going to be like a lockdown on everyone's personal information, or it's going to become the extreme social norm for any social media site, and we're just going to expect that basically in society. And I'm leaning more towards that one just on my own, with my own thoughts and predictions of how the world is going to go. So my second discussion question: are there other ways Facebook should or could be making a profit rather than marketing personal information to private companies? And I think this is pretty difficult to predict or analyze, but there are other alternatives. Maybe there should be a hard limit on what they're allowed to sell, and we've already been seeing that with legislation coming in about using people's face. They've been sued for that in different states and countries. What information they're selling. They've had a lot of lawsuits put against them. So we've already seen that coming to effect. But as far as Facebook's side, as to what they should be doing in order to make some sort of profit off of working with advertisers and off of information, if there is an ethical road for that, I think that maybe the solution here is having a specific field, like maybe a questionnaire or something, that you fill out in order to make an account under the impression that this is going to be sent to advertisers. And, that could almost be beneficial for the consumer in some ways. I mean, I am a musician personally. I would much rather see ads for music instruments, music programs, new albums, than makeup advertisements, because that doesn't apply to me at all. So maybe there's a questionnaire that you fill out at the beginning of making your account, or periodically even, that says like, hey, we're going to be sending this information to marketers. This is how we make a profit, is by advertising. And all of the information here is the only information that will be sent. So if that's the case, then they're clearly outlining to you what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what information is being shared. because I think that a lot of information is provided by the user without the impression that it's going to be shared, obviously, and this issue of non-transparency is really what's coming back to bite them now that we're discovering these things about Facebook, and basically that they've been leading on their users about their privacy. So in conclusion, Facebook is an enormous company with many resources and users, and we know that. And they give a big benefit to people who want that access to social media, to maybe older people that are connecting with old friends. You no longer have to memorize telephone numbers. You can just go on this one site and see their faces, their pictures, their videos, their updates on their status, everything like that. However, there is no argument that it is ethically wrong for them to monetize off of private information that is being shared with them, especially when it is shared under the impression that it is private and it's not going to be made public, which is what Facebook is doing. It's clear that we have to see some changes happen in legislation, and we've been seeing that take place, and how social media sites and advertisers use this information, or how it is conveyed to the user about how their information can be used and what information is being used. So that's the end of my Chapter 4 case study. I had a great time doing this. I love it.